Hi, my little babies. Welcome back to another episode of What the Smut Book Review. What the Smut Book Reviews. What the Smut Book Reviews. Okay, I don't know what's wrong with me today. Manic much. Anyway, hi, it's me, Candace. Thank you for joining me for another episode. I really appreciate it. In today's video, we are going to be reviewing the first book in a new series. Yes, Candace, have you started a new series and like completely fallen off all of the other ones that you were reading? Absolutely. I do that. I don't know why I do that, but I just do. I started another one, and in fact, by the time this review goes up, I will have probably started more than one because there's another series that I'm looking at that I'm eyeballing that I want to start, and I'm doing it for you, okay? I'm doing it for you for variety. Instead of just being like, hey, this is book 1, 2, 3, in the series, right? In a series. Because if you're not into that series or you haven't read that series, you wouldn't care about 9 books in a row, 9 reviews in a row from the same author, right? So I'm doing it for you. I'm varying the channel for you. It has nothing to do with my trash brain and my short attention span. Anyway, in today's video, we're going to be reviewing the first book in the new series for me. And it's so funny. The author probably won't think it's funny. I think it's funny. So let's just, in today's video, kids, we will be reviewing book 1 in Fiona Cole's Voyeur series. And it is actually called Voyeur. Now, funny story. I actually started reading this book on my Kindle over a year ago. And I don't know, I'm pretty sure it was just my mood at the time or like my mindset that I don't know why I could not get into it. Obviously, the problem was with me. Because fast forward a year later, possibly more than a year, and I listened to the audiobook for this. And oh my God. Candace, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Seriously. That it took you over a year to read and finish this book. You dumb bitch. Anyway, so, I don't know what happened, but I put it down a year ago. I just couldn't get into it. I moved on to something else. And then fast forward a year later, I listened to the audiobook. I was immediately hooked. Like within chapter 1, I was like, oh my God, this is really good. I'm getting into it. The main male character for this book, oh God, my heart, okay? So let's get into it, because this book and all the books in this series are free to read with KU. You can read them right now free with Kindle Unlimited. To purchase this book for your Kindle, you will pay, I think it's $4.99. If you want to buy this paperback, the one that I'm holding, look at the back cover of this. Is that not fucking stunning? Like, I've seen authors who are wary to put like half naked people on their books because they're just like, oh, discreet cover. Listen, Fiona Cole had no chill. Okay, she had no chill when it came to choosing the back cover for this book, because that picture Woof. Okay? So if you want to own this lovely trade paperback that I'm holding, you can get it on Amazon for under $15. It's like 14 and change. Here's the weird thing, okay? At first, I thought these books were out of print, like physical print, because I went to Amazon. When you search for the book, the first thing that comes up is the KU listing. When you click on see all buying formats and would normally be able to see a paperback there is none. I thought I was going to have to go to eBay to buy these books. Turns out, no. Do a little bit more digging. The paperback version of this is listed in a separate listing on Amazon. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. But I do know that it is there, and you can buy it. And you can buy the other ones. They're just not linked to the KU listings for whatever reason. So, if you want this trade paperback, you can get it for $14 and change right now. I will read you guys the blurb really fast, and then we will give you a brief overview of what this book is about, because I have thoughts. Okay. I didn't know she was my student the first time I paid to watch her at Voyeur. Once she walked into my classroom, another smiling college freshman, I knew I should stop going, stop watching. But I couldn't do it. Everything about her makes me want more. And once I realize she wants me too, the temptation becomes irresistible. The worst part is that she has no idea her professor is the one watching behind the glass. I just have to hope that once she finds out the truth, she wants the same thing I do. Because now that I've seen all of her, I can't look away. Okay. I have a thing for voyeurism. I like it a lot. I like it a lot, okay? This book, having elements of that, as well as student-teacher trope, student-teacher taboo is like gold to me. Give it to me. I want all of it. I want to hoard it. I want all of them. So the fact that this book had both of those things in it, you got me, bitch. You got me. Okay? The two main characters for this book are Oakland and Callum. Callum is a college professor. Oakland is a college freshman. Oakland has come to college broke as a joke. Her parents, whom she loves very dearly, however, had no choice but to use her college tuition money to pay bills. She feels some kind of way about it. She's still salty about it. But she realizes, oh fuck, I gotta find a way to make money fast. Her friend, one of her friends in college, her BFF, tells her that her uncle owns a club. I can get you a job. Do you want a job? I'll help you get you a job. You can go work there. You'll make a lot of money in a very short period of time. She doesn't want to work at a strip club. Like, she doesn't want to strip. But it turns out that this club is a sex club. And so she starts working there. And it's not something that, I want to make it very clear that it's not something she wants to do. And throughout the book, that's like a theme. She doesn't want to have to work at Voyeur. At least not in the capacity that she's working there. But she needs the money. So, as opposed to like Sarah Kate's Salacious Players Club, series, where you had Mia, who was an exhibitionist and who liked putting her body on display, and she liked the idea of people watching her. Not so with this female main character. Oakland is doing what she has to do. She's not opposed to what she's doing, but she doesn't love it either. Does that make sense? Insert Callum. Callum has been coming to Voyeur for nearly 5 years. I think it's like 4 or 5 years. And he has a specific purpose for coming to Voyeur. He comes to watch. Because in real life, Callum is a survivor of childhood sexual abuse. And he can't stand to be touched. Like, he will have flashbacks. He has PTSD, basically. Now, he comes to Voyeur one night and he watches her in a performance with another guy. The other guy, Jackson, is actually the main male character of book 2 in this series. But he watches her in a performance and he's transfixed by her. He's immediately obsessed. It's not until the next day when she walks into his astronomy class, where he teaches astronomy, that he realizes, oh fuck, it's the girl from the club. She doesn't know who he is, but he knows who she is. Throughout the book, you have the typical, we're doing something naughty, this is against the rules, I'm not supposed to sleep with a student. She's very young. This is an age gap, but it's not a humongous age gap. I want to say he's in his mid to late 20s and she's like 19. So there are elements of age gap there, but I would not classify this book as an age gap romance. I would first and foremost classify this book as a student-teacher taboo. And I would tell people that there is voyeurism and a sex club involved. Up to this point in his life, he has only been able to get sexual gratification from watching others. Obviously, he touches himself, and that's it. He has not been in a real relationship. He has not. He lost his virginity one night in, I think it was high school or college, and he made himself get very drunk so that he could perform the act because he could not do it otherwise. He is that psychologically traumatized by what happened to him as a young teen. I think he was like 13 or something like that. He was young. And he was basically molested by a cousin. He does not go back to Voyeur after he realizes who she is. At first, because he knows that it's wrong to watch her now that he knows that she's his student. So in addition to being in his class, she is also working extra hours as a student aide for the physics department where he works because she needs the money. So he has no choice but to deal with her one-on-one, which is severely fraying his control. But there becomes a point where them working in such close proximity to each other, his curiosity gets the better of him, and he does eventually break and go back to the club. He goes in like a disguise wearing like a baseball cap and shades or whatever. And she sees him there, but doesn't recognize him. Later on, when they're alone at school in his class, there's a moment. And following that moment, she accidentally knocks over like his jacket or something, and the baseball cap falls out. And she recognizes it. And that's when she has her moment of panic. Oh my God, you've been to the club. That was you watching me. You now know what I do for a living and how I pay for my schooling. By the time this happens, this revelation happens, he's truly infatuated with her. This is the only woman who's ever tempted him to expose his past to someone. And they have a moment where she touches him and he doesn't flinch away. And he realizes that if he can stay in the moment with her, he might be able to fully experience what it's like to be with someone. There's a point where they start to fool around and he has like a flashback and he freaks out. And at first, the first time that it happens, she thinks that he's just playing with her. She thinks that he's being an asshole and he's just jerking her around. The next time it happens, she demands to know what's going on. And he finally tells her that he was sexually abused as a child. So she goes home and gets online and does research on how to be intimate with someone who is the survivor of sexual abuse. I want to point out, for the record, this book, now keep in mind, I have never suffered sexual abuse. Okay, I want to state that. But I have read a lot of books that deal with people who have suffered from sexual abuse. This book, the way it was written, the progression from the first time that he has like his flashback and he's stuck in his own head. From that point on, going forward, the progression of how she dealt with the situation, how basically his growth and the way that she pulled him out of his past was probably the best interpretation of what I would think. Again, I repeat, I have never suffered from sexual abuse, but what I would think is the way someone, a sexual abuse survivor, would progress. Does that make sense? In a lot of other books that deal with SA survivors, the survivor has something wrong with them where either they don't want to be touched or they have trouble with intimacy or whatever the case may be. And then they meet that one person that's meant for them. And suddenly, this one person's touch does not affect me. Negatively, I mean. Does not affect me negatively. That is how a lot of the books that I have read have been portrayed. And while I'm sure that that sometimes happens, I felt like the journey that Callum went on to get from point A to point B, which was total lack of intimacy, can't be touched at all, to being able to be with Oakland in a sexual capacity and remain there with her in the moment. The way that the author wrote how Oakland did that, helped him with that, was probably the best portrayal that I have seen to date, or that I have read to date, of how I think a survivor of sexual assault would grow out of that, would survive that type of situation. So I really appreciated that. It made it feel more real to me. It was more realistic for me. It wasn't I can't be touched, but suddenly I've met someone and their touch doesn't affect me negatively. And I'm fine. And I can do whatever I want with her. And I don't have any type of trauma related to that. This was not like that. This was a slow progression of things that she did, as well as his own personal growth, that led him to the point where he could be with her. And I really appreciated that, because it made it that much deeper and richer of a story. And it made me feel like that's how it should be. Not just like a wham bam, thank you ma'am, you're my person, so I can be with you without any problems. Because in my mind, realistically, while I can still enjoy stories that portray it that way, I don't think that's how it actually goes. Right? So the way she portrayed it in this book was more realistic to how I think a survivor would progress and be able to become intimate with someone after suffering sexual abuse. Does that make sense? Did I explain? 500 years later, did I explain it properly, what I was trying to say? Are you getting my point? So I really appreciated that, and I loved that about this book. Now, she continues to work at Voyeur because Oakland is a very proud person. She comes from humble beginnings, and she comes from a family that doesn't have a lot of money, or has no money, basically. But she doesn't want to take a handout. She doesn't want charity. She wants to pay her way. She wants to be independent. And so she continues to work at Voyeur, even while she's seeing Callum secretly behind like the school's back. This becomes a problem for Callum. It gets to the point where he doesn't want anyone else watching her but him. She's not going to quit her job, even though he at one point offers to pay her tuition just to get her to quit working at Voyeur. They come to blows about it, not blows like actual blows, but like They fight about it. And her inability to accept charity and her need to remain independent is costing him his sanity. He can't stop thinking about what she's doing at the club. Who's touching her? Who's watching her? Is she performing with a partner? Is she performing alone? These thoughts are plaguing him. It's causing him to drink more heavily than what he should. He begins to spiral. Meanwhile, she's working at the club, but she's finding it more and more difficult to perform. She begins taking extra shifts, bartending at the club, just so that she does not have to put herself on display. He doesn't know that until it's too late, until they've had their massive blow-up argument. And he comes to the realization that he's slipping back into the darkest place he's been since the time that he was being abused. So when he comes to this realization, he goes home to California, a place he swore he would never go back to because it held too many bad memories for him. He goes home to see his parents. He forces himself to go to see his parents. He tells them about Oakland. And he basically comes to, he basically takes control of what's happening to him mentally and emotionally so that he can get past what happened to him in the past, so that he can move forward, because he wants to be with her. He knows that she's not going to be his student forever. Once she's out of his class, he can take her out. He can do what, they can go on dates. They can be together. But he may have already lost her because of his jealousy and possessiveness, and the fact that he's now clinging to her so hard because she's the only person. She's built herself up to be everything he needs. But now he can't stomach the thought of anyone else seeing that. And it's driven him to the point of them breaking up, basically. By the time he goes to see his parents, he's already well and truly in love with her. And he's picturing a future with her. And when he thinks about the possibility, which he never did before, because he didn't think that he'd ever find someone that he could actually be with, now when he sees a possible wife, children, a family, a future, a happy future, he can only see her face. And he goes back to the school, determined to win her back. Now, while he's been gone to his parents during their break, she's been busting ass to get herself out of the position where she has to work at Voyeur. Even prior to them breaking up, she was behind the scenes attempting to get like a paid internship for school. She was looking at other avenues to be able to support herself while not having to work at Voyeur. She gets those things. Those things come to fruition. while they're apart. And she self-reflects and realizes, okay, maybe I overreacted. I should accept help when I need it. I shouldn't be so stubborn and so proud that I'm going to let this issue ruin the best thing that's ever happened to me. And she knows that she needs the help. And so there's like an end of term type project where they have to meet with the professor outside, like at night, to look at constellations and shit, right? Hers is coming up. And when they meet after post-breakup, everything comes out. The fact that she's no longer going to be working at Voyeur. Him saying that he went back to California and visited his parents, and that he's trying to move past the worst part of his life and leave that behind. All of that comes out during this meeting. And mutually, they say, we've both been doing things to better our situation and better ourselves for the sake of our relationship, because we want it back. And they profess their love for each other. And it's very cute. There is an epilogue 3 years later where she has graduated college and they are engaged to be married and going back to visit his parents in California to basically tell them the news that they're getting married. And they're both just so happy and together. And it was a 50-50 split between the two of them working together to fight for what they wanted, which was each other. And I fucking loved that. Oh my God, I loved it so much. Anyway, for the rating for the book, I would give it a solid 9.5. I was obsessed. Could that be because of student-teacher taboo? Probably. It had something to do with it for sure. There were just so many elements of this book, which you wouldn't think there would be that many. You wouldn't think that it would be that deep, considering that it's 286 pages. But there were so many elements to this book that made it feel so real. Like, this is a realistic relationship. This is how shit goes. Like, this is how this is real. It's raw. It's gritty. It's real. It's not just I fell in love and magically my life is fixed. No. It wasn't like that. It was such a better portrayal of the growth of a relationship, especially a relationship with a survivor of childhood sexual abuse. It was just so, it was so good. Anyway, would I recommend this book to other people? Absolutely. I am now, I think, on book 4 of the series. You can tell I'm behind on reviews, haha. I'm now on book 4, and I love this series. I think everybody thought when, and don't get me wrong, I love Sarah Kate's Salacious Players Club. But the idea of a sex club was not like, whoa. It has been done before. This author did it. Stacey Kennedy did it. There have been other authors prior to Sarah Kate that have done that. And each one brings their own unique style to that element, that trope. I just loved the way that she wrote these characters. And I just loved the two of them together. Just, it got me, bro. It got me. Anyway, yes, I would recommend this book to other people, and I would recommend this series to other people. I believe there are 6 books in this series. There are, in book 2, there are some like, I don't know how you do it, like male, female, male, female, male. Anyway, there is some male storyline in book 2, as well as like some why choose elements type situation. But anyway, but yes, I would definitely recommend these books to other people. And yeah, I think that's it. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you like me and you like my channel, please consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. If you would like, you can follow me on social media. I will link them all in the description box below, and I'll put a little banner here on the screen for you guys to see. And if you're interested in checking out some of my bookish merch, I will also put that in the description box below, and I'll put the link here on the screen for you guys to see. And I think that's it. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode and sticking with me for nearly an hour. I hope you pick up this book. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy the series as much as I'm enjoying the series. And I will see you guys, yeah. And I will see you guys in my next video. I love you so much. Bye. Hello. Is it me you're looking for? That was very high pitched. Hello. Is it me you're looking for? No, it's probably not. Which is fine. But that's fine. That's fine. It's fine. I'm not mad. Hi. It's me, Candace again. I've missed you. I missed you so much. Let's dive in, because I gotta get out of here. You would think he hadn't drank water in like 5 years. Ugh. You done? You good? Are you good? Apparently not. But I couldn't do it. Everything about... Everything about her makes me want more. And once I realize once I realize she wants me too, the temptation becomes irresistible. Why are you so creepy? Why are you so creepy? It scares people. Stop doing it. Okay, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing anymore. I've completely lost the plot. Okay. No, wrong book. Get out of there. Okay. Thank you. Time. All right. Gotta go right now. Gotta go right now. Gotta go. Anyway. Yes. All right. Cool. Will there be any bloopers in this one? Aside from Freckles just being Freckles. Aside from the rabbit. Will there be any bloopers this time? I don't think so. I don't know. Okay. I love you so much. I'll talk to you later.